Assalamu alaikum, shalom, shalom, hotep, Islam, alafia. What's going on, family? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are back at it with another podcast episode. We are back at it with another podcast episode with a very special guest. With a very special guest. We back at it with another episode with a very special guest. This is a motivational episode. This is an inspirational episode. So you definitely want to tap in. This is an episode for the youth or for anyone who is looking for a better change. Anyone who is looking to change their life. Anyone who is looking to be better, to do better. Okay, we always say that I want to change, but we don't put in the necessary action to change. We don't do that. All right, so this is a motivational episode right here. Waiting for the beloved brother to come on in. All right, but aside from that, listen. Make sure that you read. Make sure that you study. Make sure that you're doing everything in your power necessary to be that change. Make sure that you're doing everything in your power to be better than you were the day before, right? We should always be thriving, okay? Surviving is a thing of the past. We should be looking to thrive now. We should be looking to be critical thinkers. We should be looking to be master readers, to be intellects, to be scientists and mathematicians instead of just surviving on a day-to-day basis. That frame of thinking is over, right? So we need to think strategically, we need to think educationally, and we need to think communally as well. All right, so I see the brother is here. Let's get this on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How about you, beloved?
Man, better than some, worse than others, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm just happy. I'm just happy and excited to have you on, beloved. I know we've been trying to, get this podcast going in the physical, right? And unfortunately, we can't do it in the physical. So I'm just happy and I'm honored to get to know you a little bit more here on this platform. So thank you for your time, thank you for your energy, and thank you for your knowledge and wisdom that you're about to bestow upon us here this evening. I know this will be one for the records. I know this will be motivational, inspirational, and insightful for the people.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So let me, I'm going to state the intro and then we're going to get started.
Okay.
All right, family. So if you're now tuning in again, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hotep Islam. This is your host, Brother Kwesi, episode 31. We have here a very special guest, Brandon Chastang, a.k.a. B.Mc Fly. He's a motivational speaker. He's an activist. He's a content creator. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a brother who spreads violence and drug awareness inside of our communities. B.Mc Fly is an avid community empowerment reformer and is known for motivating people on social media and in the streets, and especially towards youngsters to bring about a change within our society. Welcome, brother. Again, I'm glad to have you on.
Listen, man, I'm so honored to be amongst another black man that's very intelligent, that's doing what he's doing, not only on the internet, but in the community. Man, like, it's just an honor to be amongst men and showing the village that men can talk and speak with one another without being aggressive and debating. Right? So
Yes,
it's
sir.
an honor. And for the record, you know what? I'm not married. I don't know why they thought I was married.
Okay,
I don't
for
know.
himself.
Yeah, no. It's all right. No, they might have. Whoever did what they did probably thought I was married, so I don't know.
Right.
But
But we speaking that into
we want
into
to. Yeah, there we go.
existence.
There we go.
Into
I love
existence.
that part. It's
Yes.
about that time. It's about that
Inshallah.
time. Inshallah.
Inshallah. So for starters, tell us where you grew up at, and tell us about your upbringing. What was that like for the people who may not know?
Well, I'm from West Philly. Grew up in West Philly. You know, not where Will Smith is from. He's from West Philly too, but he's probably like 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away from where I'm from.
Okay.
However, my mother was 14, father was 16 when I was born. I was raised by my grandmother, you know, a strong woman that was raised by her father. So her principles were different. It wasn't too much to the, you know, the affectionate side. It was more so, I'm raising a man, so I want you to be tough side. And, you know, I get it. It's not, it's no manual on how to raise a child, especially when a child is not yours, right?
Mm.
However, she did what she did what she could do. You know, my mother was only 14, so she was a runaway 14 that was addicted to drugs.
Mm.
Father was addicted to drugs. So just growing up, I grew up with two of my aunts that gave off the sister. It was like they were like sisters to me, and my step grandfather, which was my grandmother's husband at the time. Um, you know, man, I was physically abused growing up. You know, physically abused, mentally abused, neglected. Um, I cried so many nights of, you know, my mother wanting her to come back, you know, wanting my father to call and just say, you know, I'm coming to get you. So I experienced that side of my childhood, being abused a lot, you know, and it's not typical getting a whipping with a belt, you know, that regular thing that we went through growing up in the 80s and the 90s or in the 80s. It was more like waking me up in the middle of the night for nothing and getting hit for nothing.
Mm.
Probably what my mother did, or, you know, jealousy of how my grandmother treated me. So I experienced that. I grew up in a tough neighborhood, so I had to adapt to the environment. You know, they fighting in class. Excuse me. I'm fighting in class, not because I'm causing trouble. It's just the environment,
Mm.
right? I went to public schools. I went to Overbrook. I graduated from Overbrook High School, and I like just growing up, man. I got adapted to whatever that was around me, and I always played both sides of the fence. You know, I wanted to be the kid that go to school, but I wanted to be the kid that could prove that I could be in the streets as well.
Right. Man, did you ever grow up with your father, or did you have a relationship with your father?
So every moment is a transparent moment. My, I knew my father. I probably gave my father more money for drugs than he ever gave me in his life.
Mm.
And I guess we're gonna get into that.
Right.
But
Indeed.
I've been around my father, been around my mother, but I never really experienced them. I never got a full experience with them. Maybe my mother, my last from 8th grade to 12th grade, or maybe 6th grade a little bit to 12th grade. That was the last time I actually lived with my mother, between 6th and 12th grade.
Mm. And after the 12th grade, I will guess that the reason why you didn't live with her was due to drugs.
Well, I went to college.
Okay.
So my mother was on drugs from the time I was born. Well, yeah, probably from the time I was born to about '93, and my mother said, you know, she went away to the city called Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That's where a lot of people go to go get help and stuff like that, right, for drug addiction. My mother asked one day, do I want to come up there with her? I said, yeah, I want to come up there with you because I always want to spend time with my mother, right? And she was selling drugs up there. And I'm like, hold up. I thought she was up here to get help. And she said, well, I'm never getting on crack cocaine again. However, it's making me a lot of money up here. Do you want to sell these drugs? And I said, yeah, I want to sell drugs. Wow. So I sold drugs for my mother for about a year. So mind you, she got 14 years on me. I really didn't know my mother like that. Like, we never really had like an experience of like, you know, being mother and father. I mean, being mother and son, right? But the only thing I know is that this is my mother and I want to be with her. So I'm selling drugs. So now our relationship is like, you can discipline me, but I don't really know you, but I want to be around you. And now I'm selling drugs for you. And she got caught up and she got locked up. We went through a lot up there. She met a man up there. He actually married my mother.
Okay.
You know, within the years between 6th grade and 12th grade.
So let's stick on the family structure topic for a minute. So seeing that basically you grew up in a unstable, destructive household and family dichotomy, how did that play on your psyche, one, and two, do you think family structure is important?
Family structure is so imperative, especially for a child.
Right.
Because when a child see that everybody is on the same page, it's hard for the child to go astray. Right? It's like you can't run to Uncle Joe and expect Uncle Joe to let you be free when Uncle Joe was following the same rules as mom and dad. Right? You can't go to big cousin over here because he's following the same rules as mom and dad. So family structure is very imperative. It's a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
Indeed.
Right? So yes, man, it's very imperative, and it played a major part of my life because you're seeing people drink and fight and just do drugs and everybody partying, and it's like I never seen what love. I don't know what love looked like. I don't know what love feel like. I just know being tough. All I know is like I was raised to be a warrior for the wrong reasons.
Man, and it seemed like many of us, you know, Black African boys experience the same similar situations, which is unfortunate. And if I can be transparent myself, growing up in Brooklyn, my situation was similar. I had, you know, drugs and sex and violence all around me, but just like you, it's like I stayed in school, but one of the reasons why I stayed in school was because I didn't want to be so much involved in the streets. So I'm like, and in the household, because the household was a mess as well. So I'm like, I just needed a way out. And for me, my way out was education. My way out was school. I remember getting 100% certificates for having perfect attendance because I was always there. And similar situation like you, B.Mc Fly, it's like, damn, I never experienced love growing up. And, you know, it hurts, but just like you, it's like you raised in the streets. So you are made to just put on this facade and to put on this mask and be like, yo, man, forget that, man. I don't need love. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's love? And then we look at love differently as well, because we look at love as in, oh, that's soft, or I'm hard, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just get with this girl, I'm gonna, you know, do what I do, and then I'm gonna leave her, you know, because I don't want love, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these concepts, all of these um, emotions we tend to get wrong, because at first the foundation of it is love, and we lack love. So once we lack love and someone else is giving us something that we may feel is love, which is the wrong thing, we go towards that, because we never knew what love was, both for the male and for the female. Same thing for the females, right? Not having fathers in the household, right? Wanting to be loved. We all want to be loved, bro. You feel me? We all want to be loved. So it's like when we're not loved and we feel some sort of emotional connection towards somebody that don't really love us, we go in that direction anyway, which is unfortunate, and that's just the hood for you. So going going further along in your life, you decided to go to college. Alhamdulillah. What was that like? First and foremost, why college? Because again, growing up in a destructive household, growing up in a, you know, drug infested environment, you going to college? Like, why?
So, my mother married a man. Well, a man married my mother by the name of Ricky Scott. He's from Newark, New Jersey. God rest his soul. Um, and God rest my mother's soul as well. Um, he, I finally seen what a man really looked like. I find this man he was kind, assertive, and even through the ups and downs, he was patient with me and my sister. And he always instilled in me the importance of going to college. Along with, although I played both sides of the fence, something was on the side of me like, this is the real you, right? This other side of you is not the real you. So with the help of him, my best friend, because I was always a follower and a leader, right? And my best friend said, you know what, I'm going to Lincoln. I said, you know what, I'm going to Lincoln too. I thought I could go to Villanova. I didn't know nothing about having credits and all that. I didn't know nothing about school. You know, all thing I know was my grandmother said, yo, go to college. He said, go to college. I'm like, all right. I went to Lincoln University, 2000. I didn't know what I wanted to study. So I said, you know what? Criminal justice. Ooh, like, why not? Right? Like, let me study criminology or something. I don't know. And I found myself graduating in 4 years.
Wow.
And with a bachelor's of science in criminal justice. And I just want, I'm a prover, which is not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. Like, I always want to prove, like, I wanted to prove to everybody that I can graduate in 4 years. You know, like, I don't know if that's just like being a competitor. I don't know what it is, but it proven to people got me in good situations, and it got me in bad situations. So, yeah, that's why I went to college, man, through finally having a man that's sitting down talking to me and challenging me. Like let me challenge you in your intellect. And like, hold up, I'm going to college. I'm going to prove to you that I can go to college and graduate on time.
Right. So. Right. So, but that's what we need, though. We need men. We need these positive male figures inside of our household. We need these positive male role models in our environment, so that they can instill in us and give us the motivation to do something positive. Because I would guess if it wasn't for your stepfather, your mother, husband, who knows where you would end up. So, yeah. So, what have you learned during those 4 years while in college?
looking back at it, I was forcing myself to be a grown man. Like I should have enjoyed it a lot more than just having sex with multiple women and partying. I should have enjoyed being a kid. You know, instead of being too cool to play around and do water fights and go to, and you know, they had pajama parties and stuff. I thought I was too old for these. I thought it was corny. Like, nah, man, I just want the girls. The girls know who I am. I ain't got to do all that corny stuff. I should have networked more.
Right.
You know, like, because you're meeting people from all over the walks of life, right? California, Florida, you know, New Hampshire, wherever the case may be. It's like, damn, these people, you want to be the cool kid so much, and now you about to discover, not knowing, you about to discover 14 years of pain. Along with the other years that you had to go through that wasn't your fault. So I wish I would have enjoyed those 4 years by networking and being a kid, man. Like, really enjoying the life of being a kid, man.
Yeah, definitely. I always say that higher learning should be used as socializing amongst other people and networking, just like you said, because you never know who you're gonna meet. You might meet your next business partner, right? Just like Mark Zuckerberg did while he was in college, and many other people. So yeah, man, that's dope. So let's get into it, man. You know, growing up, again, you know, you was around drugs, sex, violence, so on and so forth, so very negative and destructive. How did that take a toll on your life, and you ended up using drugs, or you ended up abusing drugs, and so forth? Take us down that path, beloved.
So I graduated in 2004 from Lincoln University. I became the very first man on both sides, on my father's side and my mother's side, to actually graduate from college. So, but in the process of me graduating, through the 4 years, I always played the other side of the fence when I came home. So to fast forward, I graduated May 2nd, 2004. I got shot July 4th, 2004. 2 months later, after I graduated, I was in the hospital for a week. Tubes down my nose and everything. I never experienced nothing like this, but this may sound weird. I always wanted to experience it, because everybody that was experiencing getting shot or going to jail, they seem like they got the accolades for some odd reason growing up. So I got what I wished for. I got shot in the hospital for a week. When it was time for me to discharge, the doctor stated that we're going to give you this pain medicine called Percocets. You take it every 6 hours or take it as needed. The minute that I took that pain killer, it killed my DNA. I was a walking zombie for 14 years.
Wow, 14 years.
14 years of my life, man.
What was that feeling like once you took it? Was it like a high that you got?
It was not only, it took away the physical pain. I never felt something so powerful in my life that just wiped away physical pain. Like, you don't feel anything.
Wow.
And I got a bullet in my knee that can't come out. The bullet is in my knee to this day. I got shot in 04. It's 2023, you might as well say. the it's like I felt nothing. Not only did I didn't feel the pain anymore, right? Come to find out, it's wiping away the mental pain. I didn't digest that until later down the line. That not only was I taking Percocets for the physical pain, I was taking it for the mental pain. Because every time I realized, like, damn, when I'm going through something mentally, I just want to get high.
Okay.
And the withdrawal made me become more of a junkie. It made me a criminal. It made me a coward. It made me neglect my children. It made me steal from my children. It made me, I did everything under the sun except for anything with another man or putting somebody in prison. So luckily, I didn't go that far.
Right.
But I wasn't far removed to going that far. Because drugs make you weak. It makes you depressed. It makes you weak. It makes you vulnerable. It's like things that happened to me. I was never a tough guy, but some people would take advantage of me within my weakness. Things happened to me that probably wouldn't have never happened if I wasn't on the pills. And when I found myself begging, and this is why I'm happy I'm sober today, man.
Man, alhamdulillah. Man, so take us back a little bit, because you said that first and foremost, you wanted to get shot because of the accolades. You wanted the, I guess, the energy, not good energy, of course, but you know, that energy like, yo, you know, the big homie got shot or whatever the case is.
I'm a part of the in crowd.
Right, right. So was that due because of gang violence? Was that due because you was hanging around the wrong people, or you just got shot like accidentally?
Nah, man. You know, you go through stuff in the neighborhood, and I always was the leader too. And these guys, I'm in college thinking that it's still fighting time. These
Oh,
guys,
this is while you in college.
yeah, this is no, like while I'm in college, I come back home like for the summertime and summer break, stuff like that. I still go through things.
Right.
And then I'm going back to college and want to play this school kid with a book bag on.
Got you.
So I got into something over my last year, the summer before my last year. So the summer of 04. No, I'm sorry, the summer of 03. I got into something. And once I graduated from college, man, it caught me somewhere. And they shot me. First it was a big fight, and then they shot me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, so we're just glad that you are here to talk about it. We're just glad that it wasn't no, you know, life-threatening injury to, you know, take your life away. So
Thank you.
again, you know, alhamdulillah, yes, yes. So you said that you've been sober for 14 years now.
No, I've been sober for almost 5 years.
Almost 5. Okay, pardon self. Almost 5. You used it since 14 years ago.
I used it for 14 years. Yeah.
14 years.
Man, it Percocets, Xanax. I never used like dope or crack or anything, but I tell people this: if you take Molly's, if you take E-pills, it got dope and stuff in it. So I had all of that.
Wow. So what was the light? What was the motivational factor, I guess, that got you to say, I need to stop? And how did you stop?
So it got to a point where I just wanted to die.
Wow.
Like it was a time in my life where I was the man. Everybody knew me. Everybody, like, I was the guy. High school, college. And when I found myself somewhere else, to the point where it's like, you are selling your soul to get this drug of choice. My mother is dead now. My stepfather is dead. You know, I'm looking at my father like, you never did nothing for me, but I'm buying pills off of you.
Wow.
I told you I gave my father more money for pills than he ever gave me in his life.
Wow.
In my life. Ever. And I'm sitting back. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I just want to freeze right there. So did he see the negative effect that those pills had on you, and he still continue to sell them to you?
Yes.
Wow.
And I found myself stealing from my children. I found myself begging, committing criminal activities. I said, you know what? God, I'm at my highest moment. I'm so high that I'm not going to feel nothing. Let me die in my sleep. When people are taking these drugs and it's like, oh, well, what about your kids? What about your family? What about you? I don't want to be here no more.
Wow.
It's nobody that can save me. My grandmother is older. She can't do what she used to do. My mother's not here. My stepfather's not here. Everybody around me is just like everywhere. Why am I here? With the help, I tried to commit suicide from an overdose. I couldn't even have an overdose. I don't know why. I would take, no exaggeration, if I had the money, I would probably take about 15. I could take anywhere between 15 to 30 Percocets, like 10 to 12 Xannies, all in one day. And when I'm waking up and I'm going through this withdrawal, I'm like, man, who do I gotta lie to now? I'm running out of options. God, why you keep allowing me to wake up and feel this pain over and over and over again? Take me out of here. With the help of my 2 kids, I have 4 children. My last 2 kids is our mother named Aocean Clark. She's from Queens, New York.
Okay.
She lives in Queens now. She's from Queens and lives in Queens. When I tell you she saved my life, although we're not together today, I'm forever indebted to her. With the grace, with the help and the grace of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and her strength, because I stole money from her. I put my hands on her. I, through my drug addiction, I stole stuff from. She still stayed around and pushing me to go to rehab.
Right.
And January the 21st, 2018, I surrendered and I went to rehab, and it took every piece of my soul to say, go get help. And I was in there for 30 days, and I'm not looking back.
Wow.
I'm free from every drug known to mankind, from alcohol, tobacco. I don't care what it is. I am a free spirit. I get high naturally off of saving lives. And it's almost 5 years. I'm claiming the 5 years. So.
Yes, sir. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you more years. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide and protect you and keep you on the straight path, keep you on the narrow path of righteousness and of truth and knowledge. So within those 30 days that you was in rehab, did you ever want to leave? Did you ever want to, take more Percocets and so forth? And if so, what was that, again, motivational factor? It was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this to myself.
Man, I wanted to leave the very first night, right? Because I did, all right, so your first week is intake, right? Detox, rather. I'm sorry, detox, where you're in there with people straight off the streets. So you might be in there with somebody that seemed like they came right outside the sewer holes, right? And I don't mean to say it like that, but when you in this street in this game called drug addiction, you sleeping in sewer holes, park benches,
right,
everywhere, right? For me, I'm like, damn, at least I got a place to stay. I may be sleeping on somebody's floor or somebody's couch, but somebody is saying, welcome, right? Man, my first week I wanted to leave. So I went through my first week in detox, and then I went over to rehab, right? Thank God for animals, right? Because I was
for who?
for animals.
Okay.
So this place called Arms Acres. It's like upstate New York, like Rochester somewhere, right? Man, I kept hearing some sounds, and people were still bringing drugs in the rehab. Yes, I don't know how they did it, but they were bringing it in, right? So I was hearing these dog sounds. I'm like, listen, I keep telling y'all stop playing with these people. They doing a shakedown. Y'all don't hear these dogs? So one of the counselors was like, those are not dogs. I'm like, so what is it? They're coyotes. So I'm like, oh, y'all, it's coyotes out here? They like, yeah. And it's bobcats. So you know them long, lanky cats? You ever seen one of them long, lanky cats?
It looked like coyotes?
Huh? No, it's coyotes out there and it's bobcats out there.
Okay.
I seen a bobcat out there. So I said, you know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not going nowhere. Because them bobcats and them coyotes, and I'm somewhere in the mountains somewhere. You leave out that door, it's quiet for you.
Right.
No, once they gonna beg you, they gonna try to please. Once you leave out that door, you're by yourself, and you can't get to the road for another 2 hours if you're walking.
Wow.
So I said, I'm gonna keep my black in here, and I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
And I stayed for 30 days and figured it out, man.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations that you're still here to tell your story.
Absolutely.
So once you're out now,
they call mountain lions. There you go.
Oh, mountain lions. Okay. So once you're out now, what was your process like? Mind state. Like, yo, I need to get a job. I need to, go on IG and be a motivational speaker. Like, what was that process like?
So a man without a plan is going to fail.
Right.
The reason why I'm able to stay sober to this day is not because I feel like I got it under control, because I don't. It's because my mindset while I was in rehab was sobriety, right? And through this sobriety, I stated that I'm going to come out here and do something that nobody has never done. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to speak on my life, whether it's embarrassing or not. I'm going to be the top motivator in the world and the sober messenger. That's who I want to be. The top motivator in the world, a sober messenger. I'm not the smartest. I don't know all the big words and all of that. I just know motivation comes from a person that you've seen go through something with transparency, and it's like, wow, he went through it, she went through it, I could go through it. But I said, in order for people to gravitate to me, I need to do something because they're not trying to just hear you talk all day. So I said, I'm going to create skits. And I created my first skit when I got out of rehab. And I was in a bathroom and I was like, I was in jail and I was like, what's up, gangster? You want to be a gangster? Well, this is where gangsters live at. And when I say it went viral, I don't know how. I didn't know what viral was.
Wait, so that was the first skit that you did? So the very first skit that you did went viral?
The very first skit that I did went viral. Shout out to a guy named Bugsy, in Philly. He had a large following at the time. He still have a large following. He reposted it, and then next thing you know, it was a domino effect. I had people calling me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, this is how life works. Let me create more skits.
Right.
And that's what I did. So I got out of rehab in February, and I got right to it.
Wow.
My mindset while I was home, I had to get therapy. Because you have drug addiction and then you have mental health. The worse your mental health is, the more drugs you're going to take. So I had to figure out things that I didn't like about myself. Because I was numb to everything. Numb to love, numb to making love, numb to being a father, numb to just society. I found myself crying out of nowhere. I found myself laughing out of nowhere. Because now my body is fighting back normal, being normal again. And I had to figure myself out so I can remove myself from these drug addict traits,
right,
and mindsets. So I can initially be off of drugs, but is my mentality off of the drugs.
Right.
And that's why I had to put myself in.
So so you need to be off the drugs physically and spiritually.
And spiritually, absolutely.
Indeed. So on the business side of things, you're an influencer on social media, close to 115,000 followers on IG, and you're the COO of Koi's Dental Academy. So first and foremost, what it's like being an influencer on social media, and explain your role at Koi's Dental Academy.
It's something that I always had. I just was afraid of it. So now that I have it from a bigger spectrum, it's incredible. It's easy for people in your community, right? Everybody's the man in their own hood. When you can influence people in Africa, California, Seattle, Washington, somewhere in I don't know,
UK,
Canada. There you go. It's like, hold up, you're more than just this local guy. Like, and it's global.
You're global now.
Yeah, and it's making me realize that we all share the same pain, right? So I look at it as more than an influencer. It's like, yo, people are following you,
right,
all over the place. I went to DR. I took me and my kids, and we went to and my kid's mother. We went to DR, and I'm like, it was some people out there that knew me, and I'm like, some people call it fame. It could be that. However, when you're actually saving lives, I'm saving lives of people that I don't even know. I'm talking to people over the phone. People would DM me and be like, can you help me with drug addiction? Send me your number. I don't even know this person, but I'm up for 3 hours talking to them or letting them talk to me. This is more than just influence. This is like a way of life almost, where somebody said, you know what? I heard your transparency. I really don't, since you're transparent, I can be real with you. So that's what it is, man. And I'm so grateful that I have the strength and
Right.
some knowledge and understanding to help others, whether it's for drug addiction, mental health, counseling, therapy, um, listening to I have troubled kids and please help me in that department. Shout out to Sakina Dawson. She's the CEO and co-founder of Coy's Dental Academy.
Okay.
She believed in me, and she said, I want you to, I want you to be my partner in this. And by me being a COO, it's like so you can have a trade, so you can have a trade with life skills. So I give the life skills piece to it, and I do a lot of other things, but I give them the life skills.
Gotcha. So life skills meaning what?
Well, a lot of people, we deal with a lot of like students that come from the inner city and aggressive environments. So we help Coy's Dental Academy help people become dental assistants in 12 weeks. It's an accelerated program and it's an accredited program. So that means if you want to go higher in rank, right? You want to be more than just, you want to be a hygienist, you want to be a dentist, right? And you got to go to college to be a dentist. You could take the credits that you have from Coy's Dental Academy and you could take them over to college.
Wow.
So we just try to teach them proper etiquette,
Right.
how to conduct yourself when you're in this professional environment. We deal with so many inner city children, and it's so unfortunate that we look for sponsorships. We look for people to say, you know what, we want to sponsor a couple kids because there's some kids that want to learn, right? But they don't have the money. And then we try to like fund their side as much as possible, but then we losing out on money. We got to pay for equipment and stuff like that.
Right.
So if there's any sponsors out there that want to help, please help these kids become dental assistants in 12 weeks. But just like teaching them, a way of life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Man, that's peace. Were there any books that you've read throughout the course of your career, throughout the course of your life that changed your life? And two, how important is education to you?
Okay, so I've read a few books here and there. I'm not going to say that I finished them, but I
Right.
read a couple books. Brother B.Mc's book. I read
Okay.
some of his book. It's a brother by the name of Andre. He was locked up and he goes from jail to jail saving people. And I read his book, and it's another book called Why Black Men Don't Cry.
Okay.
That's a deep book too. I went viral with that book.
Wow.
What was the next question? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. How important is education to you?
Education, knowledge itself is important first, right? A lot of us don't understand or have knowledge itself. We don't know the individual soul, right? We got to learn each other. Like a lot of us don't know our grandmother and our grandfather and the history of them, right? They don't know their great grandmothers and great grandfathers. So at the end of the day, education within the home is more important than any other education first. Knowing your family heritage, knowing your family roots, that's important, right? Because then you will learn what and what not to do based upon knowing your family history, right? And then going out there knowing your history,
Right.
knowing Black history, knowing where you from, what you had to go through in order to be where you at today, knowing the history of our enemies, right? Because in order to defeat an enemy, you got to know the enemy.
Right.
You got to be a decoy sometimes of the enemy so you will know what and what not to do and what you can bring to the village, right? So education, whether it's self-educated, book educated, intelligence off of comprehension skills, whatever the case may be, it's imperative to learn. Constantly be a student. Constantly spew information onto people,
Right.
because there's two ways to have information. You could be in formation for the rest of your life, or you could use the information that you have to take off in life.
Indeed, indeed. I love that. I love that. Just like Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, said, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, right? So just like you said, we should always be seeking knowledge from the time that we are born up to the time that we are, go back in the earth. So I love that. Name one or two ancestors that you look up to.
Man, Huey P. Newton is an ancestor to me. I just love Huey P. Newton, and I'm gonna say, oh my goodness, what's the young man name? I'm mad that I forgot his name that fast. Fred Hampton.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so both of them was a part of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Why Huey P. Newton and Brother Fred Hampton?
Huey P. Newton was very intelligent.
Yes, he was.
And he was a warrior. So it's sad to say, in order to go out there and intellectually fight for our community, sometimes you have to physically fight for our community as well.
Yes.
And he was above his time. I mean, like, he was a young man. He wanted to be a lawyer. He went to school to be a lawyer.
Correct.
He studied the law front to back.
Yep.
He created so many programs inside of his communities that if it was the internet back in the day, I think we would have been saved a long time ago, right? And I know it wasn't just him, but and then he suffered from drug addiction after they locked him up. And some people don't understand that, if you've never been locked up before, you don't know what you would do. And probably a drug was a way out for him. It's not right, but being in solitary confinement, you don't know what he was going through. So I just pay homage to him, man. I think that was the best movement that I've ever heard of, or like the Black Panthers to me was the best movement. No disrespect to any other movement.
Right. And my brother Fred Hampton, which his birthday is actually his assassination is next month, December 4th. So why brother Fred Hampton?
Now, gang life started in Chicago, I believe. And if it didn't start in Chicago, they had a lot of gangs out there. For this man at 21 years, well, I don't know, he was a young man.
Right.
He was a grown. It's a difference between being a man and being a grown man. He was a grown man at a young age, adolescent ages. For him to move the way he was moving in a city like Chicago, where gangs were at an all-time high, he had no fear. He was intelligent. And I felt so bad that he got set up by imposters.
Yeah.
It's like at 21 years old, I compared 21-year-old today, and I compared 21-year-old like Fred Hampton. It's like wow. Like, this man is getting killed by FBI agents and police officers. These 21-year-olds today is getting killed by each other.
Exactly. Big difference.
Mm-hmm. So I not admire the fact that he died, but admire the fact that when you that powerful at 21 years old,
they had to take him out. Word. Man. So what's your message to the youth of today who may be in a similar situation that you had back in the day? What's your message for them?
Don't be ashamed of your story. Be ashamed if there's no ending to your story. In order to be free from mental slavery, in order to be free from mental slavery, you have to talk to someone that's transparent first. We cannot expect these young kids, young scholars, to open up if you haven't opened up. And I'm not talking about the surface open up. These kids want to hear a story like that's beneath the scum earth in order for them to say, I can trust you now. So for the young kids that's suffering from what I'm suffering from, or even more, it's people out there that's willing to help you and save you. But we have to understand that they have to trust you first. And you can trust me, because I'm not ashamed of my story no more. I would be ashamed if there's no ending to my story.
Man, that's deep. And you do motivate children, you motivate everybody throughout the world every day. So your work, your messages don't go unnoticed. One of the videos that brought me to you some years back is when you had this woman, she had on a blonde wig, and you was like, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, right? That video went viral too. So, you know, why you decided to develop and implement that skit for Black African women?
You know, sometimes we are, the raw and uncut truth is, people are not going to find, it's going to be people out there that's not going to find you beautiful, right? You're not the apple to everybody's eyes, right? But the beauty is within your character. Having rich character is more powerful than any makeup, than any filter, than any eyelash, than anything that you want to cover up. Now, granted, women are women, girly. I want to look beautiful. I want to look pretty. Since the day of time, I get that part. However, the diamond, if you don't discover your diamond, then you're going to always cover it up with the max. You got to dig deep down inside and discover your own diamond and be free. It's okay to be free. It's also okay to get dressed up and makeup up and dialed up, but be free though. You know, you have rich character. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we are winding down. Thank you, family, for tuning in. Definitely click the link in the bio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This whole interview will be up on our YouTube channel, DTR 360 Books, and it will be on our audio platforms, wherever you can get your audio podcast app. We will be there. So definitely subscribe to those outlets as well. And brother, if you can tell the people where to reach you at, that would be dope.
Yep, so you guys can go to www.bmcfly.com. www.bmcfly.com. For those who don't know, B.Mc Fly stands for being motivated comes from loving yourself. Everybody must be B.Mc Fly, not the man B.Mc Fly, but the acronym B.Mc Fly. In order to be motivated, you gotta love yourself, right? And it also stands for Black men can faithfully love you. Do not let these blogs and these bitter women and no self-control, self-esteem, always talking down on other men, dismantle the Black man. They're doing whatever it takes to dismantle the Black man. They want to put us in wigs. They want to say it's okay. They want to emasculate us. They want to talk down on us. No. Black men are around. We're faithful. We're raising our children. We're doing whatever it takes to free the village. Okay, so if that means we got to go to war, and it's okay. We're going to war because of our village. And I don't mean to keep going. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You know, they're here. They're here. Trust me. And guess what? Like, you know, the first person that's going to die for our village since slavery, 1616 or 15, whatever, is the black man. And we not falling to our knees to give in. So trust, man. Encourage the black man to be the leaders of the union. Because guess what? We left our women to be the sole providers, the sole protectors, the sole educators, the sole everything for the village, and it's not supposed to be that way. We are supposed to be the frontliners for our union.
Right. Man, you know, you shouldn't have to apologize for, you know, for your passion, and, you know, that's the spirit and the ancestors coming through you to, you know, speak like that. That's one. Two is, I just came up with another question. So, you know, thank you for that statement. How important is our togetherness and our wholesomeness? It seems like still we have some type of friction and tension, you know, inside the quote unquote hood and even outside the hood when we get into these corporate jobs, or just, you know, any job, when we get into school and so forth. You know, when we see another, you know, black man and another African man, we still feel like, you know, they coming to take our place if we have some type of position or status. So again, how important, in your point of view, is togetherness, wholesomeness, and unity?
I am a man. I'm 6'2", 270 pounds. By no means am I trying to debate with another black man. I love you, black men. I care for you. I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here. As a matter of fact, I don't want to kill you. I want to heal with you.
Wow.
I don't want to kill you, black man. I want to heal with you. This is not the battle of who penis is the biggest. This is not the battle of who's the strongest. Let's arm wrestle. This is not the battle of who can spit the front. This is not a battle. The fight is the people that's going against us. This is a psychological warfare. So if I got to sit back and be a follower to someone that's leading the right way, I don't have no problem with that. It's okay to take orders from another black man. It's okay to sit back and shut up and listen to another black man. Especially if they're coming from a kind heart. Especially if they're coming from a sincere heart. It's okay to hug a black man and tell him that you love him and I got you.
Wow.
I don't care about that, man. What I'm here for is to save the lives of our people. Our ancestors been fighting long enough, and I know they're wondering, are we fighting down here? And why are we not fighting down here? So if I tell another black man, I don't care. You could be mentally stronger than me, physically stronger than me. I'm going to honor that. I want to honor that, man, and that's how important it is. Stop with this debating. Stop with this, oh, I'm better than you. I got more money than you. I got better girls than you. Stop.
Yes, sir, man. And that was powerful right there. So much power and passion. Like I always say, man, we should be willing to collaborate instead of competing with one another. So collaboration over competition any day. So, you know, love that. And what's your slogan? Don't compete with me, heal with me.
Yo, so I don't want to kill you. I want to heal with you.
Facts. Right.
I want to heal with you. Yo, listen, it's time to heal financially. It's time to heal mentally. It's time to heal through education.
Facts.
Like me not killing you doesn't mean I want to kill you with a gun or I want to kill you with a knife. I don't want to kill your spirit.
Mm.
I go to the beach and I listen to the cries of our ancestors traveling 80,000 miles, man.
Come
They
on
say
now.
the water is supposed to be serene. But do you think the water was serene for our ancestors? It was more traumatizing. That's what I'm here for, man. I love my black men. I love them. I love the way they walk. I love the way, because we got that. Black men, we are the most wanted by every creature on this planet.
Mm.
Our voices is different. A black man's voice is different. A black man walk different. Our swag is different. Our voices is different. We just demand the crowd when we walk in. And as a black man, how you don't love that from another black man?
Right.
How you don't want that from another black man? I love to see a black man. You know, some people say stay humble. Okay, I get it. But don't be humble around me. Because if you work your butt off every single day, ain't no such thing as being humble. Now, don't be arrogant. Don't look down on people.
Right.
Don't talk down on people. But I want you to be the black man that you was created to be. Your back is different. Your back is more sturdier than any man's back on this, in the galaxy. I love us as black. I love black men because I'm a black man.
Right.
I have two black men as sons, two young black men as sons. You know, so this is what we here for, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I love that. I love that, man. Time to heal. Time to heal. Time to love. Time to truly love one another. Time to truly love yourself.
Yes.
To heal yourself.
Yes.
I always say that love people. Healed people heal people. And hurt people hurt people. So if you hurt, you know, get some healing. If you're hurting, get some loving. If you're hurting, don't go and hurt another person. Fix that, what you got going on. Because if you hurt another person, we're just creating the same vicious cycle. And that person that you hurt, he or she's going to hurt the next person. And again, it's going to create that vicious cycle that we do not want any longer. We do not want any longer.
Can I say
Yes, sir.
something to the women real quick?
Yes, sir.
Women, if you are a single mother raising a boy, this is what you need to understand. You cannot raise a boy to be a man, but you can raise a boy to be a gentleman. You can teach your son how to treat women. Because when you can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yep, we can hear you.
When you allow your child, when you're just spoiling your child and giving them passes for not doing certain things, it's like you're teaching them to potentially how to treat other women, how to use other women, how to manipulate other women, how to lie to other women, because they're looking at other women saying, well, if the first love of my life can let me be lazy and do whatever I want, guess what? I want you to take care of me so I can do whatever I want too. So somebody said, repeat that. You cannot, a lot of women can't raise boys to be men, but they can raise boys to be gentlemen. They can raise them to be gentlemen. Because if you allow your son to get away with stuff, he's talking back to you and he's telling you what he is going to do and what he's not going to do. Right? How many times did you tell him to take the garbage out and he told you he going to do it later and then you wind up doing it?
Mm.
You find yourself shoveling snow when you got a boy inside the house not shoveling because you don't want to hurt his feelings. No, because what you're doing is potentially raising him to be a womanizer, raising him to be a user, raising him to be a manipulator. And he's going to look for other women to treat him the way you treated him. So guess what? If it's a man around, allow this man to be a man to your boy. Whether it's an uncle, whether it's a cousin, whether it's a brother, whether it's a boyfriend, allow him to talk to that son or those sons. Because we don't want him to grow up to be codependent on women.
Right, right. And again, that's where for me, the communal aspect come in at, right? Because again, just like you said earlier, beloved, that it takes a village to raise a child. Beloved woman, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. Although you could, please, you don't have to. Because there are other men who are willing to be that role model for your son. There are other men who are willing to be that positive male figure and authoritative figure for your son. You don't have to do, it's too many educated, informative, conscious men out here who want to help you, who want to help women, who want to help women, right? But you have to ask. One, you have to ask for that help, and you have to seek that help, right? Don't be this independent, quote unquote, strong black woman. Oh, I got it by myself type. You know how many times I see women struggling with groceries on the street? I'm like, excuse me, miss, you need some help? No, I'm good. I got it. Like, damn, all right. Like, it was just a question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to help. You feel me? So not all men are out to hurt you. Not all men are out to steal. Not all men just want to bone. No, there are many good men out here. But you have to break down those walls and seek out those good. You're not going to find good men at the club. I'm sorry.
Right.
You're not going to find good men out on the streets. Although there are some good men out on the streets, right? I was one. You were one. But, you know, like those higher level ones who pushing, selling weight. Nah, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't really go that route.
Right.
You'll find a good man in college. You'll find a good man at church. You'll find a good man at the mosque, at the masjid. You look for good men there, right? So there are good men out there who wants to help and who wants to be of some assistance to you and your family. Seek that help, beloved. Seek that help.
Absolutely.
Indeed, indeed. Man, beloved, I don't want to take any more of your time. Any last words, beloved?
Nah, man, I just hope that, you know, this live, the universe find people that's in need for this live, you know, because, you know, you have two black men on here that are here, you know, and I just hope that everybody just understand that, man, it takes patience, it takes time, it takes a village, you know, and we here, man. They say this, right, and I'm gonna end off with this. They say knowledge is power, but I'm gonna take it a step further and say applied knowledge is powerful. You can have a bunch of knowledge and go nowhere. That's knowledge is power. But applied knowledge is even powerful when you apply the knowledge and take off with it. So I'm out on that note, man.
We say that all the time, man. B.Mc Fly, again, man, may Allah continue to bless you and guide you on the path of righteousness, on the path of knowledge, and on the spiritual journey as well. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your positivity here on this live, and hopefully soon, inshallah, we can come together on the physical for part 2. So I'm gonna just leave with again, family. Check out the beloved brother B.Mc Fly on all social media. Check out his website and check out his position at the Dental Academy as well. We need sponsors so that these young men and women can you know, go on in the medical field. So we're just gonna leave with love. We're gonna leave with healing each other, and we're gonna leave with being transformational. Let's transform lives, huh? Let's transform lives positively. Let's transform lives intensely and hopefully. So man, I leave you as I greet you. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, shalom.
Alaikum salam.
Islam. Allah. Peace.
Peace.